What's your name?
Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones. I'm John Abshire.
How you doing?
And your name was?
CJ Abernathy.
Adnan.
Yep.
Thanks, sir.
You're John?
Yeah.
How you doing, John?
What unit were you in?
First comment in town.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like, I don't know if you know the little process with the case that's ongoing with,
I don't. It's above my pay grade.
with Kyle Jones. Well, my wife is being charged. My wife is being charged with grand theft.
I am listening. I'm letting him. I'm supposed to be back in the courtroom, and I'm letting them know I'm down here.
Okay. I'm being charged. My wife is being charged for grand theft for the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
That's in question at the stop.
Okay.
Okay.
She just pled not guilty today
She
with
pled
her
not
attorney
guilty.
for the record.
Right. Yeah, I was sitting there.
Okay.
Prior to that, Sheriff Ackerman went through my bank statements. Now, granted, I see you guys, the sheriff, have power to go through people's information, but
Now, that's not granted by us. That's granted by a judge.
but listen to me.
Okay.
Okay, I was the owner on the paper. My name was primary account owner at the top. My Social Security. My wife was just there. Just like if you're married and your wife uses your account because she has a card, she spends your money kind of thing. She has her own account, I have my own account. I'm a computer technician.
Okay.
I've been building computers since the 90s, okay? The store that's in question, I worked there, okay? The safe and the information that was in the safe to the ATM that question that they're talking about was open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get to my point.
Okay.
Was open to the public, which means since 2015, when the store opened, the safe and the ATM information was always open. It was never locked. Never, ever, ever locked. It went through 5 store managers. Still didn't change the combination, still didn't change the safe, still didn't change nothing, okay? So does that mean anybody has access to the safe, going in and out of the store?
It's potential.
Yes.
People
Probably.
that have worked there.
It's probable.
And anybody
What is
has
your
worked there
guys'
because the
problem?
safe has been at the front counter, has been moved multiple times, and they've had turnover rates like crazy. Well, after my wife was subject to this whole process, they went through my information. Well, my question is, do I still have constitutional rights if I'm not being charged with a crime? I'm not being prosecuted?
You don't have a Fourth Amendment.
I don't have
rights,
Fourth
what do you
Amendment rights at all.
You do.
Okay, then how was he able to jump over me as the account holder and look at my information if I have no Fourth Amendment rights?
I don't know.
And
This
that
is
right
what
there,
I-
Sheriff, is the
This is
problem.
where I need you to
That's
look
why I've been
at.
on.
That's where the wall gets
This is
in.
what I want to look into. So basically, what he did is be like, if you were a construction worker and you got paid because of the pandemic, because after the stock closed, I was unemployment. Well, I went to my profession.
Your wife might have done something, let me lift up your
I built
skirt.
15 computers in 2020 because the stock closed. I was a cook at 3 o'clock. They closed down at 6 to 2 in the stock.
They did that intentionally and as
So
retaliation to
I
the
was-
employees for speaking
I was
out.
out of work, so I went to work and did what I normally do. People, they would say, "Hey Nathan, I need a computer. Can you build me one?" Because I built it.
He built my computer.
Ones with the computer, the lights.
You like gaming systems?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the
I
best
do.
gaming
I'm
system.
I'm big into PC gaming.
Yeah,
That's what I
see?
do. So you know.
So you know that a graphics card.
What is an RTX?
If I say, hey Nathan, I want that new graphics card, but I don't know how to put it in. It's $400, and you just say, send me $400, and I'll get the graphics card and put it in.
So what happened was Dave went to my account, looked at it and said, "Oh, that automatically that money," because it was like
He
22 grand.
assumed.
He assumed that money belonged to the owners.
Without any investigation.
Yeah.
There's zero, when you look at the case file, there is zero investigation as to what that money possibly could have been other than. There was zero exonerating. Like, could Dave have looked and said, well, is there possible this money could be anything else? And he didn't even consider
But the reality,
He sent it right to Austin Hoffman.
But the reality of it is after this thing happened and they interrogated my wife in a closed room door with 2 men, I didn't even know, because Dave called my wife and said, "Hey, can you come down here? We're going to talk about the stealing the stock." We all knew.
Do you guys routinely take people into interrogation rooms without attorneys and no legal representation? Is that a routine practice
I
here?
have to say I haven't actually even.
Has Sheriff Ackerman ever asked you to go into a room and interrogate somebody without their Miranda rights being read or an attorney present?
The only time you have your Miranda rights read to is when you're actually placed under arrest.
Yeah.
Up
Right.
At that point, we can ask you questions we want.
Right.
You can also refuse to answer any questions.
Right. So, is it a common practice for McPherson County sheriffs to bring people into closed rooms and interrogate them good cop, bad cop style, threaten their children and their livelihoods if they don't have a confession given?
I would say no.
Well, that's what they did
when,
to her.
especially when my wife doesn't know her rights, and if you pull up the record, zero. Now, the questions, I had a lot of questions for Dave, but he won't answer me.
He won't.
Like,
He avoids us.
we quit, like when they said October 31st, guess what, John? The stock closed October 1st. There was no one there, so how could they go down until October 31st? Oh, another thing, how could it be the amount they're staying from January 1st to October when they said that they're missing money now in 2019, there's an extra 10 grand added. When I have it on video, these owners, this is where my discrimination comes in. The owner went to my mother-in-law, because I've been married to my wife since I was 16 years old. Like, I've known her that long.
Right.
We got married at 19, I know I've just known her since I was 16. We're high school sweethearts. I've been here married with her for that long.
Mm-hmm.
He went, the owner went to my wife's work at Marika Manufacturing.
Stocked. Sue Brown.
He literally said, I hate Nathan, I despise him, and he brainwashed his wife into stealing this. And I know it's Nathan helping her. Now, wouldn't you call that discrimination if I said that you're brainwashing your wife?
I don't know if I'd call that discrimination,
What would you
but
call it?
I probably would say that was untrue.
I would say it's probable cause to believe that there may be discrimination going on.
Because
See, the way that you guys
I'm-
use the word probable, we can say anything's probable. I can say you all are probably human traffickers here running extortion rings for your pay to the state.
But you get what I'm saying, because I
One
know
of the
that.
things you're saying are things that I believe as well. I just want to go ahead and get that.
Well, I mean,
but as
I
you
took
can-
an oath to support and defend the
So as you
can see,
Constitution,
so
and when I
as
watch
you can see, John,
constitutional rights
I am
violations
not,
happen, I agree.
I'm just saying that, like, whatever's going on,
Yeah,
that not everyone here is on the same page.
but this,
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm here to listen to you.
We appreciate that because not a lot of people will.
I just want to know why the sheriff automatically assumed that my wife's money belonged to them when when I'm a husband, I'm a deadbeat dad, I don't take
There was
care of
no
my family.
presumption of
I'd be like, do you have
innocence.
kids? Do you have kids?
No.
I find
If
it
you have
is.
kids, or you have nephews, nieces, nephews, and it was yours, and I told you, you don't take care of your family, you don't do everything, your wife does everything.
That
to
would
me,
be a really horrible thing to hear.
that's what you basically
That's what he's
did,
done.
because if you
Publicly.
could Dave just jumped over to my wife and said, oh, that belongs to Wendy and Dennis. Why? You just admitted that anybody can go into the safe. You just admitted the safe was always open.
Also,
For 5
and
years.
keep in mind, this hasn't even, and we understand that this is going to trial. He's not a party to the case.
Nope.
He can talk about this.
I'm not a
But-
court case, and it was
But
I
that
told my
ATM is so old, and if you
It's
can,
not that
you
old,
can
bro.
walk in there on any given
not that
day,
old.
and since you're new here, you don't
Wow.
know what you don't know what we've lived through being here. So you're new here. So we used to walk into the stop, and we'd walk in, and that ATM would be down 5 out of 7 days of the week.
But he knows it has a dial-up. That's all I gotta say.
It's a
It has
dial-up with
dial-up.
old modem, old security,
You
plugged
know-
into
you
a phone
know how
line.
that is.
Yeah, that's old.
It's never.
And it's not actually I don't believe,
So
correct me if I'm
why-
wrong, Nathan, but is that ATM even owned by Wendy and Dennis?
No, it was owned
It's
by
not
M&H.
even owned by Wendy and Dennis.
It was owned by that owner that owned it before they owned it.
What if it's part of like a lease thing?
No,
Like
it was
a
owned by
machine?
M&H.
Okay.
Now here's the craziest
Was the
part.
one before
Now
they
fast
owned
forward
it.
to before they even worked here, before Kyle worked there. We have the city council lady there, the secretary there, Pauletta.
Yeah.
I don't know her official
Yeah,
title,
Pauletta.
but we got her on video, open recording in public room just like this, saying that their books have always been shady.
Mm-hmm.
And so we probably believe that they're being discriminated against
Because
as the
there's-
fall guy because they can't get their books right.
Because
That's what I believe.
There's too much
Simplest
evidence to
answer.
the point that if I left my keys in a pot, people do that all the time.
Right.
And someone sees you, and they find it, and they walk in the door, and you see no break-ins, and what are you gonna tell me? Oh, that's kind of your fault. Same thing what they do.
That's what Austin
Right.
Hoffman
They,
said.
because
You leave a key on your front. If you left a key on your door
'Cause-
with a lock for somebody just like if you were hanging it and said, "Here's the key to the door," and somebody unlocks your door and walks in, Austin Hoffman made the argument that that's your fault for leaving the key right there for everybody to open your door.
Okay.
And so he is now this is why I'm saying we're bringing this against Dave and Austin because it seems malicious
and discrimination.
and discriminatory.
Because especially the fact that we kept all the USB-C chargers, the cable charger stuff that people like to steal in the safe. And guess what? The safe was always open. And the safe was about 100 years old.
It was
because the owner-
inconvenient
the
for them
owner-
to close it
the-
and
you had
properly
a-
lock
it
it
was one of those
because
safes where you had to
if
get
you
it
close
just
it
right.
and don't dial it the right way,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't get it
I'm
unlocked.
not laughing at it. That's ridiculous.
It is. Now
It
you
is.
see how after 5, 6
I-
years of shady books,
So
they're
I
like,
need someone else to look into my Fourth
Because the
Amendment right.
state's not going to find exonerating evidence. Dave didn't do a proper investigation.
There's
Austin
lots
Hoffman
of-
overcharged.
There's no problem
Here's
with
what I
Hobbs.
think, and this is based on my limited experience, and it is, like, I'm, you know,
Yeah,
I'm no expert on these matters, I'm not an attorney.
yeah.
It sounds like, have you, and I'm assuming that you spoke to your wife's attorney about this.
I can't because they're a criminal attorney. I can't.
Yeah, there's only certain, like, even her attorney will only say limited things with him. It's
Yeah,
weird.
because
Okay.
I-
And that's expected in any position or attorney, that we understand you're confined to
But the
certain
reality,
things.
So here's what I'm thinking.
But the
is
reality
if
is-
the attorney, finds, I mean, because what you are saying.
it happened. I mean, I can show you the video. Want to see the video of him saying something? I mean, the reality is, even setting all that aside, the discrimination aside, in reality, when you do an investigation and you find out that the safe and all the information was just exposed to the public,
They're also
and anybody
withholding
can see-
exonerating evidence,
Well,
which
Now,
is
they're
also a
building
crime.
right now.
Just
You're-
let me-
hold on, let me talk for a minute.
When they're open, I'm just gonna say, when they're open and everybody can see, and Dave knew that, then why did he assume that the money automatically belonged to them? Can I just take a snapshot in your bank account?
And then say that money belongs to
belongs
me? Yeah.
I didn't do it.
No,
No, I'm saying.
but that's
hold
what
on,
I'm
but like-
saying.
but
He needs to be
now, see,
questioned.
The thing, I can't, what I was saying, the reason, I can't make a statement on what somebody else does.
Correct.
Any more than you can.
Fact.
So I don't know what he was thinking, I don't know.
Which is
what-
why we want to file
So
a
this is
police
why, this
report.
is why this is being recorded, this is
Right.
why I'm gonna make a note of it. And
This
I'm
is
gonna-
why we want
I'll
to
find
file a
out.
police
That's
report.
what I'm gonna find out.
Because I just want to know if you guys are able and a judge is able to subpoena someone to look into someone's information. Now, if their primary account holder is not the one that's committed the crime, you can just hop over his constitutional rights and convict someone else.
But that's what they did.
There is a process that
And-
But that's
and
what
all
they
they
did. He's
did
not a
was-
party to the case, he's not being charged.
And they stashed her name on the subpoena warrant, but not my name.
Think about what you need to a warrant to get into a phone record, just to see call logs. You can't just, like, if it was my wife on my plan, they have to subpoena the primary account
That's
holder
correct.
and her just to get
They
my
did.
phone log,
If you look
right?
at the subpoena papers,
But
my
that
name
that
is
that
on it.
also applies in banking law too.
All
so-
Dave said was, "You're married." Oh,
That's
okay,
not-
I'm black too. What is that? Is
That
that
has
different? I'm
nothing-
mixed. What does that
Just
make me
because
different?
you're
I'm not
married
percent.
does
I'm
not
not
mean
making
that you
different.
have less of a
I don't believe
I
that.
eat dog. You're gonna treat me any different? I just, you know,
Wait, you
it's,
eat dog?
no, it's just an example.
Okay,
A
I
cow.
was an African.
But it's
You
just,
a
it's just
veteran?
I was a contractor.
Contractor, so you
Yeah.
got to go overseas and do
But the reality
same
is-
job for more money.
And I got to eat ice cream.
the reality I have is, I'm just sitting here, a father, watching my wife grow all through this, and my rights as a person have just been.
He
like, I
said
don't
right here
exist.
with Dave, I've got the video.
And I
told
don't
Dave right
exist.
to his face, I believe you're violating my Fourth Amendment right.
And I was like, I don't exist? No, Dave, I thought I myself have Fourth Amendment rights. And then my wife, the crime attorney, said, well, your rights are being used against you. I said, well, according to the Kyle Ritter case that's going on, the prosecution tried to use his rights against him to remain silent. Guess what the prosecutor did? He got yelled at by the
You
judge.
got a really.
He got, judge ringed him to the
like
ground. Because he was using his.
They also tried to
rights
say
against
that
him.
he didn't have a right to self-defense because he was carrying a gun. Imagine if the South Dakota judge says you don't have a right to self-defense
When was
and you
that?
have to carry.
Just
Yesterday.
Wow. Where were
Last
you?
night.
Huh?
Or where did this happen?
Kenosha, Illinois, or
The
Kenosha,
kid that-
Wisconsin. The
the
Kyle
kid
Rittenhouse
that-
trial.
the Rittenhouse case,
Yeah. I've been following that pretty closely.
Remember what the judge
All
said?
I had not seen the past couple of days.
The prosecution was railing him because he had about his right to remain silent. And then
That's right, I'm tracking now. He flat out said that
Yeah.
he reamed that
Yeah.
defense attorney or prosecuting attorney for
Yeah.
even bringing it
Yeah.
up. Like
Yeah.
how can you not know? Like,
yeah. So how could Dave not know that even though you can look through my stuff,
He should
I
know that.
still have a
Yes,
constitutional right
exactly.
to my
That's the
foot. I'm
point.
supposed to be securing my papers and my property too.
Yes.
My name is
Use
on
the
top of
Fourth
that.
Amendment as
My
a
name is
shield.
on top of that paper, Dave. I'm the one that signed up to that account and added her to my account.
Mhm.
What gives you the right to tell who that money belongs to? You have no right.
Right, you didn't
So
sit
I
down,
wanna see
they
his
didn't
account,
sit
I'm not
down, they
questioning
didn't
his
sit
account.
down and say, what could this possibly be that would exonerate?
The fact
And
is-
instead, they assumed
He
that
is-
that money had belonged to them without actually investigating, and we don't have any actual investigation in the documents
No.
that says that Dave tried to exonerate
Or
these claims
witnesses.
before prosecuting these claims, Because in a thorough investigation, you have the presumption of innocence, and he said, he sat right here with his badge on and said, I believe she did it. And I'm sitting there like, there's no trial, Dave, that said Kyle Jones is guilty.
Now, in his defense,
There's no trial. I think that Joe Blow molested a kid. I have zero evidence of it, but I believe it. So
in order for
that
us
doesn't
to
mean he's
make
guilty.
a charge against somebody, we do have to believe that they've committed a crime.
Okay.
Yeah, but
We have to prove that we have evidence that supports that.
But the evidence that he's
Hold on,
saying
now,
is the
I've heard you
problem.
guys talk. Let me
Yeah.
have a second, please.
Yeah. I'll sit down.
Yeah, please. You want some water? Anything like that?
No, I'm good. I got my tea.
oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
So, make sure what's important is. So, I lost my train of thought now. We believe, if we believe something as a crime has been committed, we compile what evidence that we have. For example, like you said, Joe Blow molested so-and-so. Well, we can't just go knock on the door and go, you're under arrest because somebody said that. But we use that as, okay, well, we'll start asking questions, we'll look at a few things, we'll gather, some intelligence. And once we have enough intelligence, you know how intelligence can be completely wrong.
Yeah.
That is why you go into court with the presumption of innocence. We have to believe that you've done something wrong in order to put you under arrest. If we're putting cuffs on you and potentially taking your freedom away, which is a huge responsibility, and something I don't, and none of us enjoy doing. Like, I know that to be it's you 100.
I wouldn't say 100% of law
Okay,
enforcement.
well,
I would say the good
all of
ones.
now I'm saying all of law enforcement. When I say I can only speak intelligently about the people I work with. I can't talk about.
Well, for the record, I don't see you all with the blue coats sitting here rounding us all up and putting us in boxcars.
No, and if that day ever comes, the street will be covered in hot brass because I will be returning fire.
You and me both.
Okay,
So at least we all know we got a common enemy.
Yeah, so there is not, that will not happen.
But my point
Hold on, I'm getting to a point. So, I'm answering your question really is, so when he said, like, obviously I wasn't here, I don't know what he said, I'm believing what you said.
We have it recorded if you want to watch it.
Look, that's fine, no, I trust you. So, when he said that, we have to say that because we're putting charges, so we believe that something has happened. We're not saying it's absolutely you're guilty, we're just saying, it's kind of like if I say you're under arrest for driving under the influence because I've run you through a field sobriety test and you blew into my little thing, and well, of course I did it afterwards, but it's like, and we take your blood, with your permission, and then we find out that you do have a high blood alcohol content that was illegal, then you're guilty of that. Until then, you are being charged with it. So what I'm getting at is while I don't know all the ins and outs of what happens and what's going on, I'm certainly going to look into them.
But the reality,
And I'm certainly respecting what you guys have to say, and I'm on your team. And when I say that, I mean that, like, if something has not been done properly, then it will get nipped in the bud. I will say this, though. The way the attorneys work that are on y'all's side, on your wife's side, if anything that is pertinent to it, like what you're saying, if evidence was obtained illegally by circumventing the Fourth Amendment and going around, they are going to absolutely use you as a witness.
Of course, and they've already said that there's going to be witnesses, or she just said we're going straight to a trial. They pled not guilty.
So you have to kind of, at this point, let the process do its thing. And I know it's really hard to have faith in a system that does so many things wrong.
You realize that this is, in my opinion, this is the problem with policing and law enforcement, where the disconnect is, because they just spent how many months investigating, Nathan? How many months was
since May?
Since May, okay? And now we're here, okay? So there is no speedy in that investigatory prosecution.
I think speedy is one of those, the trial is speedy, but the investigation is not, because it takes a long time.
Right, but in that time of investigation, not once did Dave Ackerman sit down and actually try to account for the money. In fact, Kyle, my fiance, Nathan, me, we have all gone through the bank statements, and minus like $20 here or $30 there, that maybe the kid put in the account to get some gaming card, or remember that time that Kyle, I gave her money for cookie dough? Like it's there, but my point being that there, in gathering your evidence before you send it to the prosecuting office, before you send it to the state, You're the sheriff. You took the oath, right? The Sheriff Dave Ackerman took an oath to the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Right? So you have to know Nathan had a Fourth Amendment right before you investigated in that count. If not, if it's in his account and that's the basis you're using to charge him, he should be an accomplice to this crime because he'd be covering it up. He's not charged, he's not named, he's not an accomplice. He's not an accessory to.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be an accessory to the fact Austin Hoffman mischarged this then. That's a lack of substantial and procedural due process. I mean, so in my opinion, again, in my opinion, it's about due process and fairness in that process, and that's where the complaint. We want to file a complaint and allege discrimination from the McPherson County Sheriff's Department, Dave Ackerman, and Austin Hoffman. And I believe Austin Hoffman for multiple reasons because of who our family is. I've had multiple instances with Austin Hoffman myself. I've had many conversations with Dave Ackerman myself. And to me, this is just a very convenient way for these guys to go after us in a malicious manner. And because Austin Hoffman's named me personally to him and Kyle multiple times, my name's been brought into this several times. And so here I am looking into their case, and I'm looking at what they're doing, and my job, I'm the vice president of a veteran nonprofit. We look into media.
Which organization?
Veteran Liberty Network.
Okay.
We're veteran 501c19 out of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
We teach veterans how to do journalism, and we investigate government. And I've investigated.
And I'm going to tell you that's a good thing.
George Washington's farewell address says that the greatest oath to upholding the Constitution is investigations in criminal courts. So if you're investigating what's going on in that courtroom up there, then you are upholding your oath according to
And I have no
Washington.
problem with people holding people accountable.
And my point being that the first thing I did when I walked in that courtroom, I noticed the judge had everybody stand up, a little parliamentary, little procedural law for everybody obeying the judge, little motion for everybody to stand up and show you're obeying the state. And then I saw him pull out a case file and put somebody up there and extort them for using contempt of a court order. That's extortion. And again, if you take his robe off and he's just a man and you took his actions and you took away his title of nobility, which is again unconstitutional in a constitutional republic, then what he just did there was human trafficking. I don't know him from Joe Blow. I just know what his actions were. I listened to his words and I watched somebody sit down and I watched him make a ruling, and I believe that to be human trafficking I just witnessed to. Not because I think he's a bad human being, that I can prove that he's leave this room and he's some terrible person, but because I just watched him do it as his job.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like, I don't think we're gonna get justice in a courthouse where, again, the sheriff doesn't follow the Constitution, the state's attorney doesn't follow the Constitution, and the judge didn't follow the Constitution. I don't care how many fluffy words you put at the front of a hearing. You don't just get to say a bunch of words and then say, and now we have the right to take anything from you up into including your life. And there's a process for that if we have to.
Well, the fact that when he was investigating, he didn't mind, but we were going to get this way. We were going to buy that store that these people were.
Oh yeah, dude, there's so much. And I laughed when they said this is going to be a 4-day trial.
When they came to us to buy the store, they gave us their super stock and the stock. They own another store in Harriet.
Yeah.
They own a store in there. They gave them the books together. Okay. Our investor said no, and our accountant said no. We need just the stock.
Straight up told them no.
No, they didn't want to do that.
Why?
5 months we had a fight with them to get them to give us our books.
Why?
Why? So they finally did, and our accountant and our investor said, no, we can't. The numbers don't add up, and it's too fishy.
Then you go to the city council lady.
My whole
she
thing
repeats
is
that.
Dave didn't realize that when I was buying the store, my kids also worked there. I have 6 kids. My oldest is 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my own kids got paid. When he quoted the amount of money that we made, he said that me and my wife made $17,000 and $17,400. He didn't include my money. He didn't include nothing from me. He just said, this guy, Nathan Jones, don't exist. He has all my bank statements. He has all our bank statements. He sees all my kids' paychecks. Why didn't he add it up correctly? Why didn't he throw family members in there? Why didn't he do his job the correct way?
He didn't.
He didn't.
Because
If
here's
I
the
could find-
truth, Nathan.
If I could find all this, why couldn't he? you
Calm
know?
down.
If I could find this, why didn't he find this for all my kids, you know?
Mhm.
This is my family.
This is why we believe that the investigation
It
was
was
botched.
botched. It was botched. There was no probable cause. There was very little probable cause, because if you would have done a intelligent
The
investigation.
only probable cause he had was she worked there and they made an allegation.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but Wendy and Dennis Fights don't just get to come in here and go, oh, you know what? Hey, sure. Dennis Fights molests kids. He molests kids. I made an allegation.
Can you go through his
Can you go put him through the same process, make him prove his innocence?
That's
The
what
way
you're saying.
That's exactly what he did.
That's exactly
Same
what he
way.
did. And
So,
instead of
where's
Dave
justice?
proving it wrong, Dave just believes me and then sends him through the process. How do you plead, Mr. Fights? You've been charged with molesting kids.
Yeah, let's go to a grand
Let's go to a grand jury.
Behind closed doors, and not let them defend themselves, not let them show their information.
All a grand jury does is look at everything. You do.
Yeah, not without my information. You gotta see both.
Right, they didn't have all the
It'd be like if
information.
you-
They didn't have
it'd
a
be like
proper
if- Like, if
investigation.
I punched you and you punched me, and I went to a grand jury and said, no, John punched me, he did everything, they don't see your side. Of course they're gonna be one-sided.
Right.
That's
Right.
closed doors. That's against the Fourth Amendment.
Listen, I'm actually supposed to be up there.
That's fine.
Well, we appreciate you even
And
listening.
I've got y'all's statement.
We want a
And I'm-
report number so that we can verify that when we come back and file a discrimination case, because that's what this is leading to, ultimately. When that jury finds out how badly Dave and Austin Hoffman fudged up their job, and I'm gonna say that as nice as I can.
Please do.
When they realize that Austin has overstepped his bounds and Dave has overstepped his bounds, there will be a discrimination case. And, you know,
I'm getting y'all's numbers real
Yeah.
quick.
I hate to inconvenience you that way, but
This is fine.
everything
So
is
it's not an inconvenience.
okay. Well, everything, you know, everything's bureaucracy, and that's the way everybody operates.
So
But
government runs on, floats on a sea of paper. What's your
yeah,
first name again?
my name's CJ.
CJ Abernathy.
Yes, sir. ABERNATHEY.
I went to high school in Abernathy.
Yeah, with an EY at the end. You got a
You're
box
an
elder
EY?
above it. EY. Yep.
Everywhere.
I know they're terrible. Ever have one fly in your mouth? They're absolutely disgusting.
Yeah,
And
terrible.
I've eaten a lot of bugs in my life.
But,
And your last name?
Nathan Jones,
Number?
605
605
230
230
97
97
83.
83. And your number, Mr. CJ?
605-230-9794. And you know, I mean, like I said, I took an
I'm
oath.
an unbiased
You took an
person.
oath. You took an oath. I took an oath.
Yes.
Well,
But what I'm
let's
getting
uphold our
at
oaths.
is I've always maintained that I'm an unbiased
I just want to
person
know
when it comes to this
where
kind
my
of
rights
stuff.
are, and where's Nathan Jones? Where's the father of Nathan Jones' rights in this whole case? You know, that's what I want to know. Do I
Okay.
have Fourth Amendment rights? Where does he stand? He just, you know, I'm not doing nothing wrong. You know, I haven't committed a crime yet. He didn't arrest me. I'm not, how's my wife, you know, being charged for grand theft?
Just for the
What is
record,
my
I
account?
accused David Ackerman of violating the Constitution.
Okay.
Okay? So, if at some point you believe that, yes, Mr. Jones's Fourth Amendment right you have probable cause to believe that Mr. Jones's Fourth Amendment right may have been violated, we would expect David Ackerman to have no qualified immunity and to be treated no differently than Kyle Jones and be charged and indicted by a grand jury to be heard on the matter of constitutional rights violation.
Absolutely.
And just so that you guys know, you guys set a very weak precedence for probable cause in this county given her case. So I probably believe he is committing treason and violating constitutional rights, and I can sit here all day in front of the public at a
I can
speakerphone
prove
in
it all
public
day.
meetings. I can show it on video. I can show how he botched the investigation. I can show how he colluded with Austin Hoffman. I can show how Austin Hoffman didn't do a thorough investigation.
You know, his papers there. You gotta get it from my wife's lawyer.
Yeah. So again, we'll prove it. We'll prove it. But I do expect.
It's nice to meet you guys. So unfortunately, I had to meet like this, you know.
Well, you know.